Coming live to you from Houston with Ernesto Verdugo and Dubai with Dave Crane, you're watching the Toilet Paper Diaries. Ernesto.
Hey, Dave. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, very excited, really nicely and properly dressed for Easter. I hope that everybody is having an amazing inside Easter, which is a bit of a strange thing. But here, as they do in the States, you have to be something. You have to be wearing something new. So this is not a new shirt, but at least it's ironed.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think anything in your wardrobe is a new shirt anyway, Ernesto. That doesn't make you a bad person. But you look very smart. I thought you might be going for a job interview. And I thought, no, quarantine, nobody goes out. It's one of those things.
So I had to dress very nicely for everybody.
I wish you'd told me that we're going to dress up for the occasion. Because, I mean, I look quite sporty, but I don't look like, presentable. And you've just made me feel like I should go and get changed.
I mean, I keep on seeing these posts about how much people are eating and what I wanted to bring about my shirt. So that's why I say I don't want to get changed, because this is one of the few shirts that fit me right now.
Is that a before and after of me, David? Thanks for putting it up. It's not quite that bad, but it's probably not far off. But moving along.
Honestly, it's not really that bad, that I feel like, I am here and I eat and just I'm thinking about eating. Is it that bad for you?
No, not at all. The thing is, I mean, I generally work from home anyway. And when I'm not at home, I'm out doing gigs. So you build up some kind of discipline. The challenge is, I used to go for a period of peanuts, gummy bears, and Coca-Cola and chocolates. And I'd have them around my laptop because I'd just keep nibbling while I'm working on projects and stuff. And I've knocked that on its head. So I'm a lot better than I used to be. But one of the challenges from being in quarantine is you don't walk anywhere. You don't go anywhere for long. So walking around your house isn't going to get you full of exercise. And so there's a lot of challenges in the fact that everybody's just going to put on weight because they're not going anywhere for a month, 2 months, or however long this is going to last. So it's just the way it is.
I'm very grateful about, I've been receiving also several messages in WhatsApp wishing happy Easter, and one of the ones that got me a big smile on my face was our friend Michael Dietrich, all the way from Amsterdam, sending us this beautiful picture of himself dressed as the Easter Bunny.
I don't know whether I'm in love or I'm very disturbed. Probably a bit of both.
And well, this one also was sent. This was your congratulations message for Easter. So this is also quite funny. Have a look. I have the exact same feeling as you were having. I do not know if I feel happy or I feel disturbed with that picture.
I don't know. I think a bit of both. But the point that we want to get across today is it's all about tolerance and understanding other people's points of view. And even if you don't agree with them, everyone's got the right to have them. And I think that's kind of what we're looking at. So I think we should get on with the news of the show and move on to whatever the big subjects are.
Right now, live. In Milan, in Milano, in the Duomo de Milano, in the Cathedral from Milano, there's a live concert going on with Andrea Bocelli, and I definitely would like to watch it afterwards. It's going to be there on YouTube, so I recommend you to watch it when you have a moment. I hope that you're watching us instead of watching that. But anyway, let's just have a look at what's going on right now there in Milan. So I think it's very cool. It's going to be in a completely empty cathedral in Milan.
As it should be appropriately, but I don't think it's going to stop the effect of that. That looks stunning. I'm sure for anybody who's enjoying that concert, then they're having a wonderful time. And for everybody who's taken the time to stay with us, well, we'll thank you for that. And because it's on YouTube, you can go back and watch Andrea afterwards, rather than the other way around. We might not be around otherwise. Enjoy this first.
Yeah, we're a little bit shorter. And also I have another very nice piece on what is happening in Boston, all the way from CBS in Boston. Have a look.
Despite the coronavirus crisis, the Easter Bunny is still on the job and getting a jump on the holiday, visiting homes in Auburn. In a time without a lot of celebration, this visit is making people of all ages happy.
I thought you were going to say hoppy instead of happy.
I was gonna, but then I thought one pun was enough.
The Easter Bunny doesn't do interviews, but we found his helpers who do.
It started earlier this week under the cover of darkness. Doorbell video like this going viral in Auburn as the Easter Bunny leaves baskets and eggs all over town.
I think the Easter Bunny is one of the coolest guys ever.
Darcy Cook and her family, who apparently know the Easter Bunny quite well, organized the rabbit's visit and have eagerly volunteered to be his helpers. Their home has become the bunny's North Pole, so to speak, perfect for creating customized baskets and preparing Easter eggs.
A lot of families needed a little bit more loving, and with all the kids being out of school and social distancing, we thought it would be a great way for people to smile and bring some joy.
To get around town, the bunny turned to Paul Landry as chauffeur.
Bunnies don't drive. The feet are just too big for the pedals.
The Easter Bunny, along with Peter Cottontail, visited the Farrell family today, much to the delight of their kids.
The Easter Bunny came. It was awesome. Thank you.
During, tough times like this with the virus going around, it's really nice to have everybody come together.
And it's unbelievable what a simple gesture of love and kindness and, a heart and a bunny putting eggs on someone's lawn that has changed everything.
And tomorrow, the Easter Bunny really has his work cut out for him. He'll be on a tour in Auburn starting at 9 a.m., so it's going to be quite a busy day.
Yeah, my son asked, is the Easter Bunny coming this year? And I said, I think so. And I think that's just further proof that he'll be coming, and it should be a nice weekend.
No, get rid of him. Don't want to talk to anybody else. Those are the least convinced kids I've ever seen on a news broadcast. When you got somebody, you say, so what do you think? And they say, do you take away my chocolate if I don't say the right answer? That's what was going through the face of every kid there. No, it's beautiful. I'm glad that people are enjoying Easter and celebrating it. And it's good that everything stays. And that reminds me, actually, when I first moved to Dubai 25 years ago, I took a number of outfits with me from a fancy dress store. And I had a rabbit outfit. And it looked very similar to one of those as well. And then eventually one night... Sorry?
You were a furry?
I was a furry, but that's another thing. Legally, you're not allowed to bring that subject up. And then somebody nicked the head. So I couldn't find the head again. And there's really no reason to walk around in the body, ever. So that was the end of my life as a bunny, or a furry, as you seem to enjoy.
I really wonder. I mean, this is supposed to be a religious holiday, which is supposed to be very... it has to be basically very serious. I mean, this is the day that Jesus was come to life again after he died. And suddenly, I mean, what's the story with the Easter Bunny and the eggs and all these kinds of things? I mean, it's just something that I have never understood.
Right. Do you really want to talk about it on this show right now while people are celebrating Easter? Well, here's an idea. Let's not. Let's Google that and have a conversation when we're not broadcasting. How's about that?
That's a very good idea. But the thing is, this is exactly the kind of times that we're having. I mean, we have time to actually ask these questions. But the problem is these questions could also be derailed and people could be asking really weird questions about what is going on. Since yesterday, and this is the reason why we're doing again this show, we were talking about beliefs. We were talking about a little bit about conspiracy theories. We talked a little bit about what's this craziness about the 5G conspiracy that Elon Musk and Bill Gates and everybody's been blamed for. And I mean, it just drives me crazy. So it's just like, that's exactly the same thing. The same way as I am thinking about why is the Easter Bunny linked to the real religious situation on this day. People are also seeing all sorts of different things through social media, and it's also that drives me absolutely crazy.
I agree with you, but look, it's not for me to say. I don't want to start getting into ruining people's beliefs if they make them happy and they make them feel good, especially during a time like this where everyone needs to hold on to something bigger and larger than normal life to give them faith and belief that the world's a better place. I mean, for me, in my own guilt, I'm a massive fan of Marvel comics and superheroes, and Black Panther especially. For 50 years, And if anyone said to me, does Batman exist? I would say yes. I would say, really? I go, well, no, not really. I know not really, but I kind of like him a lot. And so everyone's got to find what works for themselves. But today is really about belief systems and about business and about the ability to then reinvent yourself when you find that the belief systems you have are no longer serving you and they no longer relate to the business that you're trying to make money in. I think the coronavirus has really challenged everybody as to what to believe with real news, fake news, and beyond. So that's one of the things that we're going to be analyzing.
Well, let me show you this video because I think it will actually be showing you exactly what is going on with the fake news right now. This is called deep fakes. And this is something that at this point, sometimes you cannot believe that actually people are saying some of these things. And the reason why we cannot believe if they're actually saying these things is because things like this are happening. Have a look.
Dear fellow scholars, this is 2-Minute Papers with Dr. Károly Zsolnai Fehér. It is important for you to know that everybody can make deepfakes now. You can turn your head around. Mouth movements are looking great, and eye movements are also translated into the target footage. And of course, as we always say, 2 more papers down the line and it will be even better and cheaper than this. Dear fellow scholars, this is 2-Minute Papers with Dr. Károly Zsolnai Fehér. It is important for you to know that everybody can make deepfakes now. You can turn your head around. Mouth movements are looking great, and eye movements are also translated into the target footage. And of course, as we always say, 2 more papers down the line and it will be even better and cheaper than this.
Isn't that amazing?
What do you think of that, Dave?
Well, one of my favorite videos over the last 12 months or so has been that one, Imagine, by John Lennon, where you've got all the world leaders singing different lines from it. And it's really kind of spiritual in the way that's been brought together. But the bottom line is, this will make it impossible to be able to tell whether somebody's lying to you who's a leader or not. It's really difficult anyway, because so many of our decision makers do tell lies as part of their policy. But the only way that you can tell that these things have been doctored is because if you've got an expert, they can see if there's a trail, a digital trail that's been left that gives you a signature that says somebody has altered it. Otherwise, to the naked eye, it's impossible. I mean, right now you can kind of tell with that it's not right. I don't know why they got that guy with the worst haircut in the world and possibly was boring face to do it. But I mean, I'm sure he's a lovely guy. But in the future, you won't be able to tell at all. And I think for speakers, it's a really interesting point, because I think that what this will do is make less interest for those who are doing these big broadcasts. And there'll be a sweet spot of going to an event where you can see the person speak to you in person and see their face moving. So you know what they're saying to you is the truth and nothing but the truth. Right now, that's not a thing. And why should it be? But I think you're not sure what's going on video, and when people actually say things and don't say them, there's a sweet spot for the authentic. I think that's going to play really well for people who are very good orators and speakers. Maybe building more events of maybe 300 to 800 people, so that's about the right distance to see who's talking.
So right now, the beliefs of people are being based, everything has been changed, and they're basing all the beliefs in, it could be a deep fake, it could be newspapers like this one, for example, saying that according to Boris Johnson right now in England, Britain is going to remain in lockdown for a year, which of course is making them very afraid, which, I mean, that would be an unthinkable situation, but of course it's actually something that is being published. Or if not, possibly, getting people to think we will not be able to shake hands anymore. We are not going to be able to do a number of different things that we were doing before. And of course, people are in fear, people are in confusion, people are really not knowing what to do. And this is the reason why we believe that people need to understand that they have to be a little bit stoic, or have to take everything with stoicism, because you cannot just react to whatever is happening in the news, because we do not know if it is actually real or if it is actually fake.
Well, here's the thing. You got to go down to what news is nowadays. And when Donald Trump first started talking about fake news, everyone's going, yeah, you're bound to say that for your own reasons. But he was right. Fake news has been out for a very long time because it's about not even selling newspapers. It's about getting hits on a website. And so it's been proven that you can start a rumor, and if you do it with the right bloggers and the right people involved, that rumor will go all the way up to being a news bulletin on CNN or Fox, or somebody will run with a conspiracy theory that's completely unfounded because you sent enough of the trail up to the top. Now, people are interested in two things that makes them go viral. People go viral on things that make them laugh and the things that make them go really angry. So those are headlines that clearly will make people really angry, which means it's going to sell a lot of newspapers and get a lot of interest and chat, which is what it's all about. But here's what the big problem is. When you put out something like that, everyone talks about it, becomes a big thing. When you lie about it, people will ask you to retract it, but the retraction never gets as much interest. So if you make up something about somebody did this, a celebrity stole a car and they were caught doing it, and it might be a complete lie, that person will be seen forever as a car thief. Even though it was shown to be not true, nobody's going to watch it. It's just a stigma that sticks. And journalists now find it really hard to compete with telling the truth when there's so much interest in just stuff that's shiny, unbelievable, but wouldn't it be great if it was true? And that's what fake news is all about. And there's more coming. And those videos there prove how easy it is to manipulate any star to have said something that's really offensive that you know that they might never have said.
Yeah, I definitely see that. That's why I wanted to show this video, because there's three things that we need to understand that are together. First of all, our values, then our beliefs, and then our attitudes, and how we're actually acting towards them. So in this short video, you're going to understand exactly how the three of them are actually linked with each other. Have a look. So as we can see, if we have the values right now, of course, what is important for us, we mix a little bit the beliefs. That, of course, is going to take us. It's going to help. It's going to make us take action in one direction or the other, and that's why it's so important right now that you become a guard to your mind. That you are trying to avoid the news, because, of course, the news, bad news sell. This is one of the reasons why we are having this show, because we want to make sure that we are providing you good food for thought, something which, of course, is valuable. Of course, we are making you think. We're giving you some, some rhetorical questions for you to question, to think, because basically thinking is the process of asking questions. But in order for you to think correctly, you really need to have the right elements for you to know exactly in which direction you're going.
What I believe is our role more than anything. And when I worked at the BBC as a news journalist for many years, and my role was to hold up a mirror to people, and not physically hold up a mirror, but when you ask them questions, your job is to question not whether they're good or bad people, or they're right or they're wrong, but just to bring out the best of them so the people who are watching and observing can make a decision on whether they believe that person's authentic or not. And I think that that is still there a lot in journalism, but it's disappeared a lot as well, in the same way as getting a story out there is probably more important than the normal process we were taught, which is to get two people to collaborate any story, to prove it was true before you broadcast it. As a BBC journalist, that's what you're meant to do. But now, as soon as you've got a source, throw it out there, it's probably okay, let's run with it. And that's pretty much what drives a lot of the press and a lot of stuff that goes out there nowadays. So it's kind of scary. And I would say that the way to do it for most people is just question everything. Question yourself, question people around you, question what you read, and find your own way to move forward. That's the only way you can do it, because ultimately you're the person to blame for what happens around you in your life. So you might as well take control from the very beginning and not hand that over to anybody else.
In this chart that we see over here, I mean, talking about beliefs, we are basically right now trying to reconstruct the way that we feel. I mean, I see it on myself, I see it on my kids, I see it on my wife. We are trying to figure out, well, what is exactly what our needs are. We have discovered that now we can really live very nicely with a smaller budget. I mean, we're discovering a lot of things. I mean, we are completely understanding our choices. We still see our plans a little bit unclear. We're enhancing our skills. We are learning to use new tools. We are learning a lot of the different things. Right now, it's basically like a renaissance completely for us. And the only way that we can really feed our brain properly is by trying to question everything, to use a little bit the Joker. I mean, talking about Batman, the Joker approach. I mean, if you study a little bit the character of a Joker, he used a word called aporia, which basically it's a rhetorical word, which I find it very interesting. It's about questioning things to create doubt, but to also, stay aside and stay away from all the negative things. Don't take in anything for face value until you actually process it correctly or process it much better. And this is just something that I definitely think that we need to do. I mean, those beliefs that we have in the past, those beliefs that we were having in the February or January or before that time, are not going to be 100% applicable to us because things are dramatically changing. There's one thing that I also wanted to share with you, and this is where I think you might be able to understand things better. Use metaphors. I try to find metaphors in everything to try to explain things to myself and to also try to explain things to everyone else, metaphors or similes. One of the ones that I like using tremendously is this one right now. I said that just very recently I dropped a box of cereal, which is actually true. I threw that box of cereal. And what I did first is I started putting together all the big bunch of cereal and put it back on the big box. But then afterwards, there were a ton of different little pieces of cereal all over the place that I couldn't pick up. If we use this as a metaphor, this is, I think, very similarly to what is happening right now. The big corporations, the big players and everything, they're going to recoup and they're going to go back into the big box. But there's going to be a ton of little small possibilities, which are the little cereals that we need to pick up. And if we are just focusing on the fear mongering and the conspiracy theories and the bullshit that is happening there around, it's just something that we will not be able to do. So start thinking on a different way. I think that's going to be very important during this time.
Yeah, I mean, from a very simple point of view, I know there'll be a lot of people who disagree with it, but let me I worked in the news for many years, and one of the best things I ever did was to stop watching the news daily. and stop paying attention to the news. For 20 years, I didn't listen to the news, watch the news, read about the news, nothing. So people said, how can you do that? I had fellow journalists saying, how can you possibly cut out what's going on in the outside world? And I said, well, my world's really good. I've got a beautiful wife, beautiful kid. I've got dogs. I've got some great friends. I love my work. This is my world. Why should I be influenced by a world that I can't affect? And stuff that happens, tragedy or good stuff, has no impact on me whatsoever. You've got to create your own world that way. And I think one of the things that quarantine has given us, if you're on your own or you're living with people, you got your family there or extended family, that's a world that you've chosen. You've created that world yourself. And this is very important for empowering people when it comes to working as a life coach or a business coach. You have the ability to affect and change everything around you. So if you're finding yourself in your house with your family and you're looking around and you got your pets or whatever it is, then that's the world you've created. If you're on your own, there's nobody around you and you've not got a partner and all the rest of it, that's a world that you've created as well. So it's a great time for reflection and thinking about what would I really want from my life and creating that and starting to make it happen today.
That is correct. Hey, Dave, I am really shocked with these some of these comments. Apparently, you really crushed Carola's thoughts. She was thinking that Batman was real, and now you actually reveal that he was fake. I have exactly the same thing with Michael. So you have to be very careful with your comments because you do not know
All right.
what you're going to be affecting with this.
I was only joking, but Easter Bunny is real. Let me tell you something, a little Batman story, okay? Years ago, when I was doing rugby sevens, I went out to the middle of a pitch of 45,000 people dressed as Batman. And I got, in my ears, the guy said to me, Dave, we've got 8 minutes to fill. What do you want to do? I said, put on 2 songs, Angels by Robbie Williams and Wonderwall by Oasis. So I then stood there, dressed head to toe in a rubber Batman outfit, singing Oasis and singing Robbie Williams in front of 45,000 crazy fans. Now, the thing was, it's in the middle of the summer. The sun is beating down in Dubai. I'm sweating. I can't hear a thing because I've got this big Batman mask on. And what I wanted to do more than anything was just take it off and breathe. But I didn't. Why? Because I didn't want 45,000 people and their kids to go, Batman's a Rastafarian. I don't mind if I lose that now. So I didn't. I kept it on. So I will not be judged by what I say right now. I have kept Batman alive for many years. So there you go. Superman's fake. Batman's true.
That's very good. Hey, by the way, we are having right now, all the way from Amsterdam, our good friend, correspondent, collaborator, and just an amazing guy, Michael Dietrich, which is going to give us some of insights of what's going on right now in Easter in the Netherlands. Michael, are you there?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Ernesto. Happy Easter. We're coming to you live from the Netherlands. A lot of people are saying, oh, Easter is canceled. It's not canceled. We just have to deal with it in a new way. And here's 5 tips for people who are looking to celebrate Easter in this new Corona time. Number 1, if you are a believer, go online. There are tons of online services. This is your chance to attend a service in a huge church if you'd like to. Check it out. If you are a more cultured person, you can travel around the world virtually. There are tons of things like art galleries that you can take a virtual tour of. So get a little culture this Easter. If you are a family and you're missing your grandparents or things like that, there's nothing that says you can't, sterilize and make a Easter basket, deliver it to the doorstop, and say hi to Grandma and Grandpa from a safe distance, for example. Yeah. If you're looking for something fun to do, because you usually get together, there are a lot of online opportunities. Tonight we are getting together with a family on houseparty.com, and we're going to play some games together. So we can still enjoy this holiday. And finally, if you have kids and you're looking to take a little break, number 1, I recommend an Easter egg hunt. Do it in the house. Do more eggs than you've ever done before, and have a big prize. So if you say, hey, there are 50 eggs hiding in the house, and if you find all 50, you will get this basket. Yeah? But don't come back to mommy and daddy until you've found all 50. And then hide 49 and keep one in your pocket. Back to you guys in the studio.
He's a bad man. Not a Batman, a bad man. Quite clearly the experience of having nagging kids hasn't been a problem, because I would never hear the last of it. Even doing April Fool's jokes with my daughter, that could go on for many years. Forget the end of April Fool's. So, but thanks for that, Michael. It's some really good ideas. I thought he was going to talk about sterilizing grandma then. He didn't, thank goodness.
And right now, also from Mumbai, we have Gautam Ganglani also sharing us what's going on there in Mumbai. So,
hi Ernesto, hi Dave, reporting to you here from Mumbai. I have a few updates. Firstly, PM Modi has extended the lockdown by another 2 weeks, so that's till the end of April. Secondly, I had my first haircut at home thanks to my beautiful wife Panna. Thirdly, we launched our webinar series. That's 8 webinars a week for April, May and June. We made a 3-month plan, but whilst they're complimentary, we are giving back in support of Building Blocks, which is providing food and nutrition to the children in the slums. From our first webinar, we have over 50 contributions, which is amazing. And last but not least, from the speaking, training, coaching industry, the words that are going on: firstly, gratitude; secondly, reinvention of ourselves and our businesses; co-creation, collaboration. These are some of the key words that they're talking about because they realize we're living in a new world. So out there, authors, coaches and speakers, this is your time to reinvent yourselves, build your brand and be ready for the new world we're about to embark on in the coming months. Reporting to you from Mumbai, back to the studio. Thank you.
There you go.
Good haircut. Good haircut. It's looking younger.
I mean, I think that he was really a daredevil. I'm very afraid of actually having someone else, which is not really a professional, cut my hair. So most likely very soon I'm going to start also my dreadlocks.
Good for you. About time you grew some. Your hair looks all right, though, considering you've not got that much left. It looks really good. So I'd be proud of that. That'd be good. You should start some kind of beehive thing going on. That'd be very cool. But there you go.
Yeah, that's exactly true. So it's cool that we are still having all our reporters. We want to always, as every time, remind you that we are having our podcasts in every single content that we are creating. We recommend you that you share it, that you give it away. I mean, the idea is to make sure that all this time that we're going to be on lockdown is more bearable. We're going to be sharing with you as much information as possible. So remember to go to bit.ly Toilet Paper Podcasts. So if you don't get to watch the show, at least you get to listen to it. I think that's just an important thing. So make sure to watch it or listen to it and share it. That's the most important part.
Absolutely, because people are really busy nowadays. So if you can't watch our beautiful faces, or for some reason you can't watch us looking so old, then put us on in the background and go and do all the cleaning and things that you really need to do as well. We don't mind, as long as you're learning all the stuff. And this is episode, 23 today? So there's 23 podcasts. 24, is it? Oh my goodness. There's 24 broadcasts you can listen to. So that should keep you busy for a while. And it's especially good if you can share it with people who are on their own. Because, I mean, we just talked about the fake news and so on. What we do every day is we give you as much honesty as we can do, sometimes self-depreciating honesty as well. But we try and put a spin on things that allows you to be uplifted and move forward in your business and your personal life as well. So feel free to share with anybody who would get some benefits from watching a little Rastafarian guy and a guy who's stuck in Houston, but feeling good all the way from Mexico and Holland. This is what we do. We love having you with us, and we hope that we keep you entertained at the same time.
Yeah, I guess we could have also called this show The Minority Report.
What a good show idea that would be. And people would love it for it as well. No, absolutely. I'm happy to call it anything. We've got our new show, Fast Forward, starting imminently, as soon as we finally escape from being stuck in these bunkers. So that should be cool as well. Now, I've got a couple more videos that you wanted to share, Ernesto. Do you want to put them in today, or do you want to put them in tomorrow?
No, I think it will be very good if we at least cover one of them, which I think it's also very linked to what we're talking about, which is about designing. And you can possibly tell them a little bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the thing that I wanted to share, because right now, a lot of people are thinking my business has just absolutely fallen to bits. I don't know what people want. I don't know how to reinvent. I don't know where to start. And a very dear friend of mine, a guy called Howard Majaris, is an expert in design thinking and introduced me to the industry. And design thinking is about going through the entire process of what you normally do, but going from a human's point of view, thinking how many touch points do you have with people where you could reinvent and make it a lot more comfortable, as opposed to doing it the way you think you should do it, but people don't like it. So when you do that, you start thinking about things completely differently. So we've got a short video now to introduce you to that mindset. So hopefully as a result of that, you can apply it to your existing business and see if something pops out that maybe you haven't thought about before.
Design strategy is about thinking differently, putting yourself in your customer's shoes to design solutions that not only fit their needs but delight them by empathizing through observing people in real-life scenarios like shopping, or through open-ended interviews to uncover what people do rather than what they want. Because if you ask people what they want, they don't necessarily know. By immersing yourself in your customer's world, you can understand their needs, gains and pains. How? 1. Empathize. Immerse yourself in your customer's world. 2. Define the non-obvious insights. 3. Ideate. Brainstorm solutions. 4. Prototype. Build an MVP, minimum viable product, of ideas in the shortest possible time. Then take those prototypes back to your customers and ask what they think. Design strategy starts with the customer, then offers the solution, not the other way around. For example, an Australian supermarket chain wanted to design a unique, engaging in-store experience to further set them apart from competitors. So we followed their customers around, interviewed them, and watched what was happening in store over a considerable period. Customers wanted to feel more connected with the suppliers of their produce, an in-store experience they couldn't find elsewhere. One of the winning ideas was an in-store milk dispenser with old-style glass milk bottles. Customers fill the bottles with single-origin high-quality milk. They can see details of the cows and farms that produced it, with assurance the suppliers receive a better price. This experience delights customers and is very successful across stores. If we had asked what customers wanted, they probably have said cheaper produce. But by empathizing, living and observing, we developed an idea that not only excites customers, but gives the store a unique edge by connecting with customers' hearts and minds.
So there we go, some things that people can look at to start analyzing their business. While you're sitting in your quarantine area and wondering what things will be like afterwards, this is as good a time as any to just look at your existing business to see what you could do with digital and what you could do with more customer focus to be able to move to where the things are going in the future.
Anyway, we are running out of time. Dave, I really appreciate all what you have done for us today, and all the great information that we have been sharing together. I hope that you enjoyed it. Right now, I hear that the Easter Bunny is getting to my backyard, so I need to find out what's going on there. So I want to actually leave you with this short thought, because I think it's just very, very nice. It says, when this is over, I hope that we have all learned how fragile our lives are, how life can change on a dime, how much we can take for granted, how to be truly grateful, how much we need each other, how resilient we can be, how positivity can be contagious, how important our health is, how to save a little more, how to spend a little less, how to relish in simplicity, how to focus less on ourselves, and that together we can overcome anything. We are one world.
That's beautiful. One thing missing from that is how to love. You don't have to like everybody, but you should love everybody, because we've got no choice. This is us.
Absolutely.
On that bombshell, you go hunting your Easter rabbit, your bunny in the backyard, or whatever you decide to call it.
I was gonna hunt Easter rabbits. I mean,
look,
that would be the worst thing ever. Can you imagine shooting Easter rabbits?
I was talking about your Easter bunny, not going out shooting rabbits, because that would be an interesting development at the end of the show. Whatever you do in your private time, that's up to you. For me, I'm going to go and eat some eggs. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Passover, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.